Welcome back to BBB Adventures and the Builder series at Frank's Place. This episode is a continuation of the work we are doing to refresh Luna, our 1962 Corvair Greenbrier camper van. In this episode, we start the replacement of the window channel and fuzzies, as well as refresh the doors themselves. There's lots of details in this part of the project, so we hope you enjoy following along. One of the things on the list for this Luna refresh is to replace the window channels and window fuzzies. And window fuzzies are these felt things that basically that sandwich the window in the channel, in the slot in the door. So the window goes up, down in the slot. And those fuzzy things act a little bit like a gasket or barrier. They also keep the window from rattling. And also the track that the window goes up and down in has some felt in it. And after 60 plus years, you can see the felt's just deteriorated. There's a metal spring that used to be part of the felt. So I want to change this because these windows are rattly, and yeah, it needs to be done. So that's what I'm gonna talk about today. I'm gonna talk about how you do that, how you get the window out, how you replace those things. I already did it. I did it to this one. So this one has brand new window fuzzies. The window's nice and tight. You can see it doesn't rattle at all. While this window rattles, this one is tight. I've replaced the channel in here with new rubber channel. I've replaced these fuzzy things, and I repainted this part of the door. I repainted this part of the door, and I got a really good match. This is the original color. But I repainted this, and yep. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this door and the driver's door. And so that's what today's video is going to be about. I'm also going to make a shorter version of how you get this window back in this, because it took me a really long time to figure out how to get this window back in this door. And I couldn't find any information online. I couldn't find anybody that knew how to do it or could explain it well enough to help me. I had to figure it out. And so I'm going to make a shorter video on window removal and installation that I'll probably also post as a builder series, but I want it to be shorter so folks in the Corvair community can quickly access it, get the information they need as sort of a how-to. So with that, let's get started. By the way, part of this project is also to replace this rubber, wing window rubber, because it is just hard as a rock and cracked and whistles, and so I ordered the new rubber and a new one of these backer plate things. Part of the reason I'm painting these upper panels is the paint is worn off from where you stick your arm out the window when you're driving the car. The paint's wore off, and it's a little bit showing its wear. Same with the door. So I wanted to repaint that part of it. I don't really want to repaint the whole door because the rest of the door is in pretty good shape and it would be a lot more work. I just want to do part of this as the refresh. So yeah, looks like maybe I need to replace this. But to get started, we got to get this thing disassembled. So we got to take this panel off, and then we have to remove the window, remove this thing, remove this assembly. So yeah, let's get started. You can see this fuzzy's pretty wore out. All right, so now there's a metal channel here. There's a metal channel that this guide goes in, this fuzzy guide, this felt guide. And so it's actually bolted here and here. So it's bolted to the clamp to the inside of the door from those bolts on the outside. So we've got to take those loose. And then we roll the window up, take these loose, so the window is separated from the window regulator mechanism. Then I believe we can wiggle this window and get this window out. That's what I'm going to do now. It's going to take a little persuasion. There we go. Those are broke loose. Now I'm disconnecting the frame at the bottom of the window from the window regulator arm by removing 2 nuts. Once the window is free from the regulator assembly, I move it up with one hand so I can get access to the metal channel inside the door. Once I have the metal channel loose in my hand, I work to remove what's left of the old felt window support guide, while still holding up the window with my other hand. Now I'm pulling the felt window support out of the metal guide. And of course, the metal guide falls to the floor. Now there's enough clearance inside the door to lower the window, shift it towards the back of the door, tilt it, and pull it completely out of the door. Now I get the fuzzy up this side. Wore out fuzzy garbage. I'm going to take this assembly out. And to do that, there's a screw inside here, there's a screw here, and there's 3 screws around this perimeter. All right, that one's going to take a little persuasion as well. There we go. Now I'm removing the entire old felt and guide support out of the door. Aha! These 2 screws down here. Forgot about those. So there's 2 screws down here that also have to be undone. So now it's just a matter of something fell. Okay, you have to turn it 90 degrees so you can get this clear. But yeah, now I have to go rebuild this assembly. I have to figure out what dropped down into the door. It's this bolt clip that goes in here, and it came off. I actually forgot to put this on the other side. I have to take the other side completely apart to put this damn thing back in. Okay, let me show you what the inside of this door looks like. For as old as this car is. And there's a little bit of rust here and there. But really, it looks really good. So I'm gonna vacuum this out. Do my best to rub it down with a wire brush or something, and then I'm gonna spray some rust stabilizer in here. That's what I did to the other door, just as a precautionary thing. I also am gonna take the window regulator mechanism out and re-lube it up.
Now that the driver's door was disassembled and ready to be cleaned, it was time to do the same to the rear side door.
Okay, now it is time to take this door apart. Now, because this is a camper, I got a screen, I got an upper and lower bar for the curtains. So I gotta take all that off, and then I gotta take this top panel off, gain access to the inside, and yeah, take the window out. There we go. Well, now we take this top panel loose, just like we did the front door. Okay. There's metal guides in here as well, so we got to get those out of here, and then we can pull the window out. Okay.
The screws that hold the window assembly to the regulator arm were stubborn.
Man, I don't want to pound on these with the glass. I need this to come loose. Come on. Yeah, I knew I was going to drop that down in there. Oh well. Well, this one, unlike the other door, has this mechanism, which, God, I hope doesn't get in my way. That doesn't look good. Shoot. Well, the battery died as I was doing that. But basically what I did was I was holding the window up, and then I pulled the metal frame, the metal spring that the window channel is attached to, out of these two metal guides, metal channels, and got those out of the door to get more clearance inside the door to try to get this window out. And now I'm going to try to take the rest of that channel out, just to get it out of the way. It's hitting the inside of the mechanism associated with this door latch, and it's preventing it from rotating this way enough to clear right here. And the back of it, just don't think Well, these two screws loose. 3 screws, I guess, and see if that mechanism wiggle room to get the hell out of my way. Here's another trick. What is this? A 1-inch? No, an 11/16 star wrench fits on these old Craftsman screwdrivers. That's what these ridges in the screwdriver handle are. So it allows you to get a lot more leverage. There we go. Let's see if somehow that gives us the clearance we need. Take them all the way out. What the hell? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Woo. Nice. Okay, well, I'm gonna get started on preparing the inside of these doors now that I have access, because the window mechanism and stuff is out. In general, the inside of these doors looks really good. There's some surface rust, but really nothing significant. But I do want to treat it. So the first thing I'm gonna do is see if there's any large chunks of rust or surface fragments or whatever I can knock off. And to do that, I have fashioned a Scotch-Brite pad on the end of the stick, and I'm going to stick it down on the door and do my best to sort of scratch around. Then I will use a similar stick with a paintbrush on it to paint some rust stabilizer or some rust neutralizer all the way as much of the inside of that door as I can get to. So first step is to see what I can do with this. Okay, I'm gonna just keep working on this, cleaning this up. So I'll check in with you when I've made some progress. So I've done the best I can to sort of scrape around or whatever with that Scotch-Brite pad, the insides of the doors to knock stuff off, so that when I apply a relatively cleanish surface to apply the rust inhibitor to. So now I'm going to stick this vacuum down there and I'm gonna clean it up. All right, I vacuumed all that out. The next step is, it's pretty dusty and dirty in there, so I fashioned these mops into these sticks. I'm going to use some warm water and warm soapy, that's actually not warm, soapy water, and I'm going to clean the inside of these best I can. Then I'll let it dry before I apply the rust inhibitor, which means I probably won't be able to apply it today because I want it to dry really good. So I'll clean this up. I'll have to wait overnight, so this will be where I'll have to stop on this part of the deal. But there's some other prep work I can, yeah. I'll have to cut that in. I don't know if you can see that in there, but I'm just mopping around. I'm having a little trouble getting the sidewalls. Well, I got a little shorter stick that's probably gonna help with that, but I got the bottom pretty good. So it's probably clean enough for what I'm trying to accomplish. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. So I'm gonna keep, look at the water. It's gross, it's black. Well, it's dirty anyway. Okay, so I'm gonna keep after this, do the best I can to get this as clean as possible. And like I said, I'm gonna let it sit overnight and dry. But I'm done with my mopping, cleaning activity. And the inside of the doors look pretty good. You can see, hopefully you can see some of the surface rust I'm trying to treat. You probably can't see way down the door, but there's some pretty good rust down there on the door, so I want to stabilize that. It's never going to be easier with all this mechanism out of there. So that's the back door. Let me show you the driver's door, because I've also cleaned it. But in general, this door, inside of this door is in pretty good shape. So, but like I said, I am going to let that dry super good overnight, and then I will come back tomorrow and maybe get started on treating these doors. There's a bunch of other stuff I have to do, including prepping, taking the foam off these. These are the tops of those doors. This is the driver's door. This is the back door. These are those channels that were in the door where the window slides up and down. So I want to clean all these up, repaint those, clean all this off, repaint the backs of these, repaint the fronts, and then I got to rebuild this thing. This is a lot of work. But we'll get into that. But I think that's going to do it for now. I'm going to head home. I'll see you next time.
That's it for this one. Please stay tuned for the next Builder Series episode when we continue with the door refresh and window channel and fuzzy replacement. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the ride. Wear a helmet.